In this video, I want to share with you the 8 life lessons studying music taught me. Back when I was in school, I wasn't one of the popular kids. I guess I'm still not one of them, but that's not the point I wanted to make. I didn't care about grades and I also wasn't learning very much for school. From the time on being 15, I knew that I wanted to study music, so it didn't matter. But with making music, it was different. I wanted it and I was also practicing quite a lot. Then, when I finally got into music university, somehow things changed for me. Because most of the lessons I had to take were super interesting, I started to get pretty good grades. This was the time I started to work a lot. I started to feel this immense pressure to make something out of myself, which turned me into a workaholic. I guess it's a good thing because I can choose now if I want to be disciplined or not. I don't have to worry if I will stick to whatever I planned or not. Making music, even if you don't want to make it professional, is a great way to learn discipline. It takes so much time to become great so that there is no other way. As a musician, I spent countless hours alone in a room practicing. While others were together running around on a soccer field, I was at home repeating the same bar 25 times. As an introvert, this may be easier for me than it is for you, but I'm pretty sure that people can learn to spend time alone if they have to. And to be able to work alone is a great skill to have. In modern work culture, it's all about fast email support and open working spaces. For me, that sounds horrible, having to work with so many other people in one room. I can best concentrate when no people are around. And that people think they can get work done while they get interrupted 10 times in 1 hour, I find that weird. Learning how to work alone is pretty easy. You just do it and you get better with time. Your focus will enhance and you will notice an increase in the output of whatever you do. It took me a long time to figure out what makes painting, a film or music art. In my earlier years, I saw music as more of a game, trying to hit the right notes at the right time. That was it. I wasn't interested in telling a story or making someone else feel something. It was more like a sport, a competition with myself that I can play the most complex physical movements. While others ran or played tennis, I was hitting keys on my flute. But if you study music, it doesn't work that way. Everyone can learn how to play the right notes at the right time. There's no creativity involved. What made me realize what art is about was when I was doing multiple creative things at once. I was obviously studying music. For some module I took part in a dance improv class. Very uncomfortable thing to do. And at that time I was also getting into filmmaking and video editing. Seeing the same patterns in music, dance and film made me realize what creativity is actually about. There's one thing that is more important than anything else. Art makes another person feel something. That's basically it. You can go further and say that it needs to change a person, that it needs to make someone think about something important. If you try to make someone feel a specific emotion, a very specific emotion, the rest comes by itself. Having this deep understanding of art makes it easier for me to understand my own emotions. Therefore, it is easier to make decisions in life and make the right choices. Let me tell you how I practiced when I was younger. I was literally watching TV for a minute and then I was practicing for a minute. I don't know how I managed to do this. It seems like the most distracting thing you can do. My favorite YouTuber once made a video about Theodore Roosevelt. In the video he said that he wasn't working more hours than most people. He would just get into an insane level of focus and outcompete everyone else through this. And I find this thought kind of beautiful, to be able to hyper-focus on one single task. With all this short-form content out there, it is probably the greatest skill to have right now. I do have very strict rules for myself when I'm doing work that requires intense focus. I blocked YouTube and social media sites on my laptop. When I'm practicing, I have my phone silent in airplane mode. And when there's just one thing to do, it becomes much easier than if you have 10 alternatives. Being a musician is a pretty unstable job. The perspective doesn't look very good for the next 10 years. But I realized in the last few months, most other professions are also not very stable. AI is completely changing the playground. During COVID-19, I got into the whole self-development and productivity stuff. I figured it would be a great idea to learn a high-income skill like video editing. The problem now, in a few years, AI will be so good that it can replace video editors. Not the great ones, they will benefit in the short term because it will make their work a lot faster. Also, motion graphics designers, the mediocre ones, they will be out of a job in a few years. If you want to learn to program, it will probably take you 2 years to become better than AI is right now. So 2 years of work without being able to get paid for it. Because a computer is cheaper, faster and better. This sounds pretty bad for humanity. Well, it probably is. I had a conversation with my best friend yesterday and we talked about days we work quite a lot and We both agreed that even if we didn't want to, it was still kind of fun. Even if it was quite hard, difficult, and we had to concentrate very much, we still enjoyed it. So there's some kind of truth to the saying that if you love what you do, you don't ever have to work one single day. Keep in mind, we're both musicians. Last week I conducted a youth orchestra and there were 3 days of rehearsals plus 1 concert. On the first day I left the house in the morning at 7 o'clock and was home again at 7. The next day was 13 hours and the third day was 14 hours. Obviously there were breaks and we often had to drive things around and do other stuff. But still, that's 39 hours in 3 days, and at the time it didn't feel like it was too much. I could still enjoy those long hours because I loved what I did. I can work a lot of hours if I enjoy what I do, but I don't know if I could work a lot of hours for something that would not interest me at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should do what you love even if you suck at it. That's not what I'm saying, but there will be something you're good at, that you also enjoy doing, and something where there's a market for. There is someone right now who has the same goal as you, who is not doing anything else rather than work. If I see my music teacher, I think the only thing he's doing is practicing, and he's over 60 years old. He's a genius musician, he is smart, and he has a photographic memory. How the fuck should you be the guy like this? I like working hard, but I don't want to work 80 hours a week. Alex Hormozy mentioned this quote that I really like. Success comes down to doing the obvious thing for an uncommonly long period of time without convincing yourself that you're smarter than you are. And for most people this means working your ass off. I don't know the answer to this question myself yet, so I can't help you to decide. Sometimes I feel like I just do these videos for myself to remind me of what I should pay more attention to in life. And working on my network is definitely one thing I have to improve. Everyone says it, but very few actually do it purposely. My first ever real job I got is being a music teacher at a private music school. Guess how I got it? The teacher before recommended me, because she was my teacher a few years ago. There was never a public tender where people could just apply for the job. I got it 1 year before I started to work there. It's not just great to get jobs, you will also acquire knowledge from people you surround yourself with. Imagine you want to become the best pizza baker. What do you think would help you more? Reading every book about making pizza, or eating lunch every day with the best Italian pizza chefs? There's no way you wouldn't be able to make a great pizza after a few weeks. Click this video right here. Thanks for watching and we see each other on the next one.